Okay, well, this is video number 2 today on June the 5th, 2019. As the days go by and the minutes keep ticking by and the seconds. Yeah, I always wonder when today will be the last day instead of wondering when today will be the first day of a new life. But I got a little triggered today. That's why I'm doing this video. And so I need somebody to talk to about it, essentially. And the trigger was a phone call by my Narc, my significant Narc. And it started with yesterday a message on my voicemail stating that there's something that needs to be taken care of suddenly, right away. So I called back today after the second voicemail that essentially said the same thing over again. So I called back and I'm thinking, okay, all Minarch wants to do is get me involved in something regarding this house. And it's the termite guy, to repair you know, some of the termite damage. So why would that trigger me? I mean, you'd think, oh, I were taking care of something good. Yeah. But when I call back, because she wants to set up a time and stuff, well, that should be quick and easy. That should be less than 60 fucking seconds, right? So when I call back, we never, I mean, the conversation started out that this is what she wanted to do. But the reason for the call, why I was supposed to call her back, was to try to set up a schedule. And 30 minutes later, we touched upon maybe, I don't know, a dozen different topics and many, many things that I have to do and even sacrifice for her, my narc. And I dare put up any type of resistance because, as we all know, resistance is futile. Resistance is futile. So you think that there's always a way out, that even when you're in a cage, in a prison, in a trap, there's got to be a way out, one way or the other. And I believe there always is, believe it or not, but it may not be what we think it is or what we hope it is or what we physically think it ought to be. Like maybe we can unlock that lock. Maybe we can bend those bars. Maybe we can pry out that cinder block. Whatever it is. But sometimes you might be stuck in that hole your entire life. You just don't know. I mean, you don't know what tomorrow will bring. But you're like, what's going to come first? You get out of the cage, out of the trap, jail, whatever, or death. And if you look at it as death being a possible escape, well, that counts. That does count. And well, you know what? I want to talk about that because somebody will take it the wrong way. Oh no, this guy is suicidal. You know what? I am not fucking suicidal because I still have hope, and I still pray every day. I still have conversations with God every day. I still have chats with my passed away dad. You know, um, I still got my dog. My dog is such a blessing. Oh my gosh, can we see him here? There he is. He's just hanging out. I'm so bored, Dad. I'm so bored. Ain't no squirrels to chase. But he's my sanity. He's who I talk to besides these videos. He's Dr. Buddy. Dr. Buddy. I'm going to get him a pair of fake glasses. Like a lot of narcissists like to wear the fake glasses, make them look like they're really smart. They got to be horn rimmed, like a black, real thick looking, like I'm a doctor. Yeah. I've worn glasses all my life, so it doesn't apply to me. But the music I have playing, I've been trying to experiment with these tunes that, I confess I'm not getting permission to use them, but they're on YouTube here, and it's very pleasant music, and it calms me down and actually stimulates a lot of thoughts that they're all over the board, you know, some positive, some negative, but for the most part, they're very relaxing, and a lot of the thoughts that come up are very creative and actually stimulate and motivate me to do these little videos. I notice that other YouTube creators, um, they go out and get, I don't know, the no copyright music stuff, but hopefully I won't get in trouble for this. Again, this is, a practice video, I guess. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe so. But that's such as life, you know. Maybe not. Maybe no. Maybe yes. Maybe so. But back to the call and the which is a trigger, and it just never fucking ends. It never fucking ends. And these calls, especially when they last, a half an hour or longer, pretty much ruin my day. It takes me like 3 days to kind of recover if my narc doesn't call me back. Um, but she will in this case. Um, a little baby caterpillar. I don't know if you can see this baby. See a little baby. There's lots of little critters in this yard that the narc, wants to kill and destroy. And I don't know why this little fly is so attracted to this baby. Oh shit! Sorry, little guy. Okay, I know you fell down. I don't know. Okay, I'll go back over there. Oh, buddy, no, buddy, you probably just stepped on a fucking duck. Oh, buddy, buddy, buddy. You are such a little goober. So he's okay. The caterpillar's okay. The lizard, though, he's not so okay. Yeah. I got a thing for alligator lizards. I grew up with alligator lizards, because that was the predominant lizard in my neighborhood. And they are absolutely beautiful. Their coloring and so on. And, I've had them as pets. Buddy, come on, buddy. Leave the little goober alone. You didn't. No. Okay. So, I got to rescue the caterpillar. The caterpillar. And Dr. Buddy here, right? And now we haven't seen alligator lizards for a few years. I figured they were extinct around here, terminated. And but these other lizards, like tree lizards and so on, are pretty prevalent. And in the last 2 years, we've had several alligator lizards, so they're kind of making a comeback. So I try to protect them from Buddy, and unfortunately, Buddy knows that the lizards in general tend to look for some kind of protection underneath the trash cans. And Buddy will hang out there and expect me to move the trash can. And only problem is sometimes they get injured or killed. So I've stopped doing that. But last fucking night, it was like 10 o'clock, and you gotta take the trash cans out to the curb. And I swear I was being careful, but I guess not careful enough. And sure enough, basically a full-grown alligator lizard was under that can, and I killed it accidentally. And I felt so bad. And this is not the first time, and it's just I get this guilt trip, which is odd because I love animals, all animals, even that little caterpillar, which is a bug. I spend a lot of time trying to make sure that these caterpillars in this yard get to survive and do their thing. And sometimes I think they must remember me in their next life as a butterfly because they come and land on me. So it's phenomenal, actually. I have better relationships with the bugs and the critters and the animals and the trees than I do with my very significant benevolent narc. Sarcasm with the benevolent. And I called her that one time and she freaked out. So she must know she's not very benevolent. If I called her benevolent, and she had an issue with that, there's, I'm sure, some kind of issue there. So what do you think of this music? It's pretty calming. I love this piano. Wish I could do that. So she never did after 30 minutes, and I even gave her a reminder of what the call was supposed to be about, and I let her know we were off topic about a dozen times, and the reason for the call and so on. But nope, went right over her frickin' head, and just yep. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. So I don't know what the fuck. But being that we didn't get to really conclude the phone conversation, um, the purpose of the call, she will now, I don't know when, but she'll remember suddenly, probably tonight, um, that we need to have another conversation. And I don't want the conversation. I don't want my phone to ring because even that, even though she remembers this 12, 24 hours later, suddenly, um, it'll be another half an hour to 45 minutes to an hour to an hour and a half to 2 hour fucking conversation. And a lot of times, and I learned this, I was quite cooperative on this 30-minute call. If I was not, if I would have said anything that seemed, that could be taken out of context or a little bit questioning, like just a question, kind of like asking a liberal something, all of a sudden I'm labeled and I'm screwed. Yeah. She is a liberal, by the way. Yes, I know I've laid some hints down today. Very significant, and she's a she, and she's a liberal. So it always reminds me of Alice in Wonderland, the queen, off with her head. So um, I am in a trap. It's very difficult to explain this to other people because most people say, well, get out of the fucking trap. Other people say, well, how did you even get in this trap? And I could go through the whole story. It all makes complete sense, at least to me. But it comes to the point where, listen, you got two options. You hit the road somehow, or you stay and keep dealing with it. So, unfortunately, don't have the option of going. I got no place to go. Things have really changed in my life over the last decade, and which is really sad, but I'm coping with it. Um, it's just for an old white male who likes to be a strong individual and has pride. It's really an unfortunate situation to be in the situation that I'm in. And people look at me and say, "Why haven't you dug out of it yet? Why haven't you recovered yet?" I'm burned out. I'm weak. I'm dead practically because not just because of my age and my health is going downhill as a result of all this, but um, it's like I've been through a lot of shit in my life, and I finally, it's like, I guess I've given up. And obviously not 100% because I'm doing this video, and obviously not 100% because I have hope and I have God, but a few other things like money would definitely be a major help because that's unfortunately that's kind of like the key that'll open the door of my cell. And I'm at a loss. I don't know how to make any money because nobody will hire me because of my age, and things have changed so much in the the tech aspects of jobs. All the new softwares and computers, and I don't know how to do all that shit. So whenever whenever I want to learn something, how to do something, I would go to my son because he seems to know everything. Kids know all that stuff nowadays. Just comes natural to him. And first thing he says, he doesn't really want to be bothered anymore. He agrees. I'm a loser. Because a lot of times I don't go forward in a timely manner. And he gets very annoyed by that. So he says, go to YouTube. Whenever you have a question about, how to do something, go to YouTube. Okay, I understand. What's YouTube? How do I get there? How do I find it? What do I do? So, um, I am really trying to utilize YouTube. I gotta look at my buddy, keep an eye on my little guy who brings me so much joy. And I wander aimlessly on YouTube now, so it's so easy to get it distracted. Now I'm like addicted to 6 different subjects, and I started all these YouTube channels on narcissism. My gosh. And I like the alt right media, but I notice all those sites are being um, shut down, which, well, that's pretty damn scary because you know what? That reminds me of the book I read in 1984, and that reminds me of, well, it reminds me of my Narc. Whatever doesn't go along with the Narc's narrative needs to be killed and squashed and shut down. And that's exactly what's going on with big tech, big brother. Okay, I know it's a whole other subject. It's just something, an observation, you know. And so this one dude I just found recently, Jordan Peterson. Gosh, I just totally admire that dude. He's not right. He's not left. He's not conservative. He's not liberal. He's not religious. He's not non-religious. He doesn't take any sides. Um, and all he spews out is logic. Everything is logical. Basically, everything's the truth. And it is amazing. I thought I was the only one. It is amazing how many people, especially women, come after this guy and try to discredit him, which is the first thing in the rules for anarchy. It's he sits there and just kind of looks at him like, you could tell what's going on in his head. He kind of like stares him down a little bit, and these people try to criticize him and discredit him and make up stories and tell a bunch of lies, and he just kind of like looks at him. What the fuck's wrong with you? I just told you the truth about something, and it isn't my opinion. It's an actual backed up by evidence. It's fucking phenomenal. I love it. So they automatically assume, because he is telling the truth, evidence based facts and all that, that, you know what? He must be a conservative. And they put all these labels on him. He must be a phobist. He's definitely a chauvinist. So it kind of reminds me of me because I can't get away with shit anymore. Um, it's amazing how times have changed, and I could say it's a cloudy day today, and they'll believe me before I say it's a sunny day, which is obvious that it is. So they believe the lies, especially if I said it enough times. Well, it's cloudy today, really. Well, it looks like, you're kind of shaded. There's no sun on your face right now. Yeah, well, I am wearing a cap and I am under a tree. A tree? Well, it's got to come down. It's too big. A cap? What are you wearing a cap for? Are you trying to hide something? Where'd all these extra topics come from? That is exactly what they do. They. That's exactly what my fucking narc does too. Am I allowed to say fucking? I don't know. I don't know what the YouTube rules are, and all I know is I gotta be extremely careful to not say things that might come across as racist or chauvinistic or anti-feminine stuff or homophobic or anything else except for the white male stuff. I have to be really careful. I could put down white males all day long. That's okay. So uh, that 30-minute call today, basically, it's the same call, a little different list of demands on me. Some are the same, some are different, but it's phenomenal how this narc, just like it just like dawns on her, just out of the blue. All these things got to get done, and it's so overwhelming, and it's got to get done now, and there's only one person that can do it. That's you, and you owe me. So it's got to be done now, and it's got to be done no matter what, and it's got to be done for her. And so today, I started out with, okay, first there was the message from last night and the message from this morning. The message last night had 4 I wants in it. The message this morning had 3 I wants on it. When I got up to 10 I wants within like the first 10 or 15 minutes of the main call, that was 30 minutes long, I sort of lost track there. And it's like, I want. Now, does that remind you of a 2-year-old? This person is, don't tell anybody, 88 years old. And I'm listening. I can't talk to. I'm listening to a 2-year-old who repeats over and over and over and over. Now, some of you say you're being too hard on this person. They all obviously have a mental um, problem, disorder, malfunction, Alzheimer's, dementia. Obviously, you would think that it would be obviously, and she would need some kind of medical attention. But this narcissism has been going on as far back as I can possibly remember, which means it's been going on farther back than that, farther back than I've been alive. And I didn't know, that it was narcissism. I figured it was just normal. The normal narc. It's a good name for a YouTube channel. The normal narc. Or the narc norm. That might be better because the narcs have a norm. Even though there's various levels of narcissism and various subcategories of narcissism, and some narcissism is actually a good thing if they are kind of a humble person or doing good for others. But the narcissism I'm talking about is a pathological psychopath, borderline disorder path type who, I hate to say it, but is basically evil. Yeah. What do you think, buddy? Buddy looks at me like maybe I'm the crazy one. But the thing is, I am getting crazy. I have nobody to vent this shit to except for Buddy and to myself on this video because nobody else is going to listen to this video. So, in my little lonely world, the little box, the little cell that I'm in, who totally depends on the warden, the queen, the jail master with the key as my only outside outlet, if you will. Well, I'm not painting a very pretty picture here. But there's one person that has control over my life, and it doesn't seem to be me. In my entire life, I've resisted people like this. It's just in my nature to be a caretaker type, always helping people, always coming to people's rescue, always listening to people, always, whatever I can do to fucking help. Always. Even when I say I'm not, I'm going to change my ways and not be that way, I continue to do it. I feel sorry for all the dogs and cats and obviously, like I mentioned, all the critters around this house. And that makes me a target. And so when I started learning about this stuff, I started saying no, believe it or not, the power of no. And the only problem is I can't seem to do that with this particular narc. Why? Because I'm dependent on this narc. And how, so the question always is, well, you need to become less dependent on that narc. Well, you tell that to people that are dependent on their government, for welfare, food stamps, just for whatever they're dependent on by from somebody else. What ends up happening? You know, their whole life is controlled by that entity. And this is, you can see it every day. It's been this way, God knows how long. The people in power, they don't necessarily appreciate the fact that they have the power because they're in power to do what's right and to help those in needs, or have needs, various needs, that it's their job. That's, what they're supposed to do. But historically, most of them, throughout time, for some reason, the power just goes to their head, and they're no longer benevolent like they say they're going to be, or maybe were at one point. And somehow they either have been that way or they have transformed into a tyrannical dictator. And what's sad is it's one thing when it's somebody you don't know. It could be the president, it could be a king, um, or a queen. But when it's somebody that you care about, kind of, it's devastating. When it's somebody that you should be able to depend on, who's also called on me, called on anybody because we're the caretakers again. Um, they have no problem asking us for help, but she never asks. But I'm always there. She demands assistance because she's got me by the fucking balls. So when a young lady or an old lady or especially a woman, has a man by the balls, it's a pretty sensitive area to have a man. And you can get a man to do a lot of things. You can provide pleasure, and they'll do anything for you, or you can provide pain or the threat of pain, and the man will do anything for you. So I should add to that, pleasure or maybe the inference or promise of pleasure, the man will follow you, or pain or the inference of pain, and the man will follow you. So it's women basically have all the fucking power. I mean, men don't typically threaten each other in that respect. And even though you hear about all these tyrannical dictators in the world today and in the past, it's a little different when it's a woman, and it's a way different when it's a woman who has the same characteristics, but they're your loved one, girlfriend, wife, mother, and it's just extremely sad. And I see it. I just can't seem to get over being the good son. I can't seem to bring myself to be a not so good son. And like, I don't know why. It's just part of my DNA. I want to be there for my mom. And so, as hard as it is, I didn't want to say mom in this video, but it slipped. As hard as it is, I hang in there. No, my sister didn't hang in there. She took off a long, long time ago. Yeah, that's a whole other story. But my dad, well, as far as I'm concerned, he was killed by her. So he's out of the cage. That's like I was alluding to earlier. He found a way out of the cell. I don't think intentionally, but maybe God saved him from another 50 years, 40 or 50 years of torture. So I don't know. I don't know. Does anybody else have an answer for me besides get the fuck out of there? Well, send me some money. I need more than $1 though. It was kind of funny though on the call. One of the demands was you need to get rid of some more stuff. Now, if you walk into the house, there isn't very much stuff. In fact, the majority of this house is empty. But she seems to have a stick up her ass about stuff that's not hers. Very sad, actually. Luckily, I'm conditioning myself, and she loves to do that. She likes to condition me, but maybe it is her conditioning me. I'm like, in a way, forcing myself to change a little bit and say it's no big deal. Big deal. Become a minimalist. Get your black only shirts. Get rid of stuff. It's not really her controlling you to get rid of stuff, you know. But it is really her because I probably wouldn't do it. So, um, I notice a lot of women seem to get help when they're in the same exact situation that I'm in. There's people like me out there, men, if you will, or fathers, that'll help that young lady out, especially if she's cute. But when an old white male is in this situation, everybody runs the other way. Isn't that amazing? Amazing. Or is that just my delusional thoughts? It was kind of funny today. It was another different topic. I'm talking to this guy who, I mentioned to him, I don't know, several months ago that just by the mere fact that, I'm an old white male, just by default, I'm a racist. And, per other people. And he said that's not true. And I can't remember if I mentioned the fact that I can't. I did not mention, but I've mentioned to other people, I can't get a job because I'm an old white male. Nobody will hire me, whether I'm old or I'm white, whatever it is. And people laugh at that. They do. I think something, again, delusional, coming up with excuses. So today he's talking, and I asked, "Hey, dude, you went in for a job interview, and what happened with that?" He goes, "Well, they didn't hire me." You told me about the interview, and I swear to God, if the roles were reversed, there would have been a lawsuit, major lawsuit. He didn't. He feels he didn't get hired because he's a middle aged. He said nobody will hire a middle aged male. He didn't say white male, and he is white. A middle aged male or a middle aged white male. He said nobody will hire a middle aged male. He didn't go into the fact that the interviewer and his boss were both black, and one was gay, and one was, and there were, the gay one was the male, and the other one was a female, and made the statement. Well, one of them made the statement, like he goes, what are you looking for? Because he knew he wasn't hired. And they go, we're looking for a unicorn with a cape. A unicorn with a cape. I have not heard that one before, but I have a phony feeling because I'm not totally ignorant. I may be dumb, but I'm not stupid. I got an idea what that means. And I looked at him and I said, well, obviously you don't want to work there. Um, he said that would be a suable offense. And I'm saying, well, if they were white and you were black or gay or both, that would have been a suable offense. The mere fact that you're white is not suable. So that's why I go back to what I told you a few months ago about being a white male. You're just automatically racist. But they weren't looking. They weren't looking. They were just looking for another one of them. They weren't looking for a real person, qualified person to fill that job. No. And this was at a college in the psychology department. And you think I'm making shit up? That these are just my opinions? No. Remember I told you about Jordan Peterson? Look him up. He'll tell you all about these colleges, especially in anything that's humanities or psych related. Yeah, he'll tell you. It's amazing but true. Well, I feel better already. I do. All I wanted to do was talk about that half-hour phone call and all the I wants in it, and how it made me feel like shit once again. And when's the next shoe gonna fall on me? And when's the next hammer gonna hit me in the head? And what do I got to do? Should I be rushing around to take care of this? And should I rush around, take care of that, so I can appease her a little bit and make her happy? The only problem is every time I do one thing that she says to do, she doesn't acknowledge it. Just comes up with one more thing for me to do. It's amazing. But she's in a hurry now because all of a sudden she thinks that she might have to maybe move in. Now, how long I've been hearing this and these type of phone calls for years. Well, Alan, we're not feeling too good, Oh, and there's no other options for people that have several million between them. No other options. But the thing is, when this narc gets her mind set on something or a group of things, it's just, it won't turn off. It won't fucking turn off. She's already blaming Buddy for shit. You know what that means? Buddy is on chopping block. I don't just have to get rid of my car that she wants me to get rid of for her, for a tax write-off. I have to get rid of my car for her tax write-off. I have to get rid of all my furniture to make space for her furniture. I'm talking a lifetime of furniture. A life fucking time. Had to get rid of my son out of this house so they can work on the house, the contractors, which never happened for like a couple of years, 3 years. All I wanted was Joey to stay for another year. That's it. One more year would have helped him in his business. A big help. No, it's got to be done now. Yeah, yeah. It never ends. It goes on and fucking on and on and fucking on. It's a fucking nightmare that I can't seem to wake up from. So, like, if this was a real YouTube video, I would appreciate your comments. Any advice? Yeah, yeah. Please subscribe to my channel up here or down here or somewhere. I'm learning a lot about YouTube also on YouTube. Not just narcissism, but I guess that's where I get everything from. I don't watch TV anymore, and so all I was doing was looking up how to do things and on the computer. I stumble upon all this shit. Okay, I know there's a lot more I want to say, but I can go on for hours, and it's fucking 4 in the afternoon. And I gotta go to work. Yes, I do work, believe it or not. I work nights, but because I work nights, people think I don't work at all. Not only do I work nights, I work sporadically, part-time during the days. But that doesn't count either. The only thing that counts is you have to work for a big corporation, for 40 to 60 to 80 hours, which is what I used to do, by the way. Um, that counts, I guess. But then I might be taking somebody else's job if I did that. The opportunities for certain special interest people, would be less if I had that job. That'd be bad. I have an attitude problem. See, I don't know. I don't know. But that's really the extent of my anger. So I don't get out of control, and I don't use any drugs, and I'm not suicidal. The only thing I do is walk my dog and pray to God. Pray to God and walk my dog. I guess in that order. So I actually pray to God more than I walk my dog. But I think God gave me this dog. This dog is like an angel. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Want to say goodbye, buddy? Buddy, want to say goodbye? Say goodbye. Say bye, buddy. Oh, well, I guess he thought Mr. Squirrel was out there somewhere. Okay, well, this is, how many? This is 44 minutes, something like that. That's longer than I wanted to do, but can't help it sometimes. Okay, have faith. Always believe that things get better. And when God closes one door, He opens another. Yep, that's it.